Mr. Williams.
Yeah.
You got to turn that off. The music. Turn the music off. I got my guests on. What you playing the music for?
I think you said hit me, man. You mean record.
Hit you. Right. Okay. Recording is not started yet. Right.
Okay, now the recording's on.
I didn't hear it.
No, I turned it off now.
Okay.
It's on now.
Can you start?
Yeah.
Okay. Turn it off. All right. Well, hold up, Sister Ariana.
Yeah.
Turn the recording off. What, Mr. Williams? Turn the recording off first.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, family, once again, welcome to another episode of Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself, Progressive Podcast Network. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in, and I'd like to thank the listeners for tuning in also. And I would just like to say, in case you missed the show, okay, because it's on Huddle, HUDDLE.team. That's where our shows go up. We're now on YouTube. Now let me give this to you, and then we'll bring my guest on with her bio. Grown, GROWN, folk, not an S on the end, FOLK, talking without the G on the end, TALKIN. Express yourself. Now, once again, please put your phones on mute, because I'm getting background here, and I'm on YouTube. I need perfect silence. Thank you so very, very much. All right. So, without further ado, family, that's our YouTube, Grown Folk, without an S, Talk In, without the G, Express Yourself. Check us out. Our shows are uploading on YouTube in case you guys missed something. And in case you're on here, hey, bring a neighbor along and tell them to check us out on YouTube. Be very much appreciated. Now, without further delay, all right, our DJ, by the way, is Mr. Sanford Joseph Williams, my Africana Studies back in high school teacher. So proud to have him on. So proud to have him on our platform. He had a wonderful show last night at 8 p.m. He comes on every Friday at 8 p.m. And then for the host who are listening to this show, this beautiful system I'm about to bring on, at the end, before she goes off, you can announce your shows. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, I would like to bring this sister on. And, of course, you know how we do. You step up to the podium when she's done any Q&A. We do the questions, and she gives you the answers, or if you want to make a comment. So without further delay, she's going to give you a bio. Sister Ariana, I'm passing the mic right along to you, my sister. I'm sipping on some green tea over here. The floor is yours. Go right ahead, sister.
Thank you so much, Forrest. I appreciate the invitation to be here with all of you today. And I am excited. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I bring you greetings from the beautiful city of Atlanta. Not sure if we have anyone else in the house from the South. And I was born and raised right here in Atlanta, and I love the South because we are so hospitable. We love people, and we show it everywhere we go. And tonight, I have the opportunity to share with you who I am. I am a holistic wellness strategist. And you may be asking, what is a holistic wellness strategist? Well, that's someone who helps you feel better, look better, and be your very best in terms of your health and overall well-being. I just released my latest book, which is Harmonic Healing. And it's an engaging and motivating read with practical and actionable insight that's actually based on real-world experience. I share profound insights about achieving optimal health and thriving in every area of life. After spending a decade serving as a coach for executives and developing a reputation as a highly respected authority on health and wellness, creating real action and impact. And some people ask me, well, what do you do when you're not writing? And I enjoy traveling, I enjoy hiking, cycling, as well as sailing. I speak, I coach, I inspire people to have a healthy, thriving life while preventing and or eliminating pain. Yes, and this journey for me began as a teenager. I was encouraged people would come to me and call me all the time, especially my family members, if they were dealing with something going on in their body or something going on anywhere in their life. They would call me, and I would say, yes, what do you need? I'll go get it for you. And sometimes they asked me for things that I didn't know what to do, and guess what? I figured it out. And this started when I was around 13, 14, 15, with my great-grandmother, who lived to be 101. And I was so amazed at Granny. Sometimes I would surprise her, go by her house, and she wasn't even home. I was like, where are you, Granny? She was out living her life, and she inspired me to do the same. She was an entrepreneur, a seamstress who was able to use her talent to transform the world. And I thought I was helping her, but really my grandmother was pouring wisdom into me about being an entrepreneur, about being a caregiver, about being the very best I could be at whatever task I chose to do. And then it went on to my grandparents. They started calling and needed my help, and I was there no matter what they needed. And they lived to be 89 and 91. And next up were my parents. So I got a chance to take care of people almost all my life. People are like, how did this happen? And it started with being a yes. And so I want you to remember that. People will ask you to do things. And are you willing to step up and say yes? Because it's important. Say yes to you and yes to others. Now, not yes to everyone, though yes to those that you know God has assigned you to be a yes to. And that's my story. I had no idea that I would write my first book on leadership, how I used my skills in taking care of my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my grandparents, and my parents, and how I utilized leadership skills to be a blessing to them. Because when my mother, she had multiple surgeries, and she ended up right before COVID not being able to walk, not being able to cook, do anything. And so I was able to rally the troops together and pull together a health regimen, create a health regimen for her and get her the therapy and the treatments that she needed to get her life back. So I wrote a book about that. And then my second book, Harmonic Healing, is on everything that I've learned over the past 30-plus years that have helped me to achieve optimal health. And I enjoy helping others. So people come to me who have back pain, neck pain, all kind of pain. I started when I was young. I didn't want to pop pills, so I figured out a way to make the pain go away. And I started with a headache because when you get headaches, they could just be so irritating and so frustrating that I would close my eyes and visualize that headache going away. And guess what? It went away. And then I graduated to when I got all my wisdom teeth pulled. Oh, my. The dentist said, maybe we should do 2 at a time. I said, no, you better go ahead and get all right now because I don't think I'll be back for the second round. And I'm so glad I did, even though he gave me he gave me a bunch of prescriptions. And he said, make sure you take this so you won't be in pain. I looked at him and I said, I'll be just fine. So I went home and I prayed, and they had scared me thinking that it was going to be excruciating. And you know what? I went to sleep, and when I woke up the next day, I had no pain at all. I don't know anybody on the line who had 4 wisdom teeth pulled, but thank God I survived without popping a pill. So I've been doing this type of thing for years. And then when my mother got sick, oh, my gosh, I was like, well, what are we going to do? I had to figure it out because I love my mother, and I hated to see her in excruciating pain. So I talked to doctors, I did research, and I started locating different things that started to work. And before I knew it, she was better, and so grateful that she had a daughter who took the time to care enough and apply all the things that I put in my book, Harmonic Healing, to help her heal. So tonight, I want to focus on one of the topics that I speak of in my book because I talk about a variety of things, and I highly recommend you get a copy of the book. Someone asked me, how is it available? And I told them that it's a paperback, and I also have a Kindle version. And because people are asking me, I am going to create an audible version too. So you can listen to my book. If you don't want to read, you can just turn it on and let it play. So you can get all of the wealth of information that God has put into me to share with you. So tonight, I want to focus on one of the topics that I mentioned in my book. And that topic is fasting, because fasting is one of the best. I did say that. One of the best things that you can do for your health is fasting. And I started fasting, believe it or not, as a teenager. I don't know too many teenagers these days that fast, but my pastor, he decided that he wanted the whole church to go on a church-wide fast. And I didn't know what a fast was, but because my pastor said we were doing it, I said, okay, yes, count me in. And little did I know at that time that saying yes would transform my life and the life of so many people that I've shared this information with. Because fasting, it actually impacts the body on a cellular level. Yes, so it affects everything going on in your body. So when people call me and they got issues, one of the first things I suggest you do is to fast. That means just to pull away from all that stuff you've been eating and give your body a chance to heal. It's not about sacrificing and giving up. It's about the results that you can get. Because let me just share with you why fasting is important. Number one, insulin increases when you eat. So when you're fasting, it actually brings the insulin levels down. And it's extremely beneficial to eat like in a specified window, and then refrain from eating. Like some people call this intermittent fasting, and it works. There's so many different types of fast, so I'll just cover a few. But when you're starting out, I started with intermittent fasting, where I would eat for like a 6 to 8 hour window, just condensing. I don't eat 3 meals a day. Some people do, but I didn't eat 3 meals a day, and most people don't. We just get conditioned to eat because it's 12 o'clock, or conditioned to eat at a certain time, even when we're not hungry. So I would highly recommend that you listen to your body and only eat when you're hungry. That will solve a lot of issues right there, because a lot of people don't realize if you're constantly eating, you're constantly making too much insulin. So by fasting, it brings your insulin levels down low, and then when you do eat after giving your body a rest, like 18 hours, your pancreas will produce a much lower amount of insulin. And eating in a fasted state produces a small amount of insulin versus eating in a fed state where you produce a whole bunch of insulin. And believe it or not, most people eat in a fed state, which is counterproductive to your health, which can cause all kinds of problems: high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity. The list goes on and on. So just by fasting, you could actually prevent a lot of problems that most people deal with throughout their lifetime. So living a fasted lifestyle is the way to go. And again, I mentioned there's so many different types of fasting, ways to do it. And it's important to change it up. You can vary your fasting. And I suggest, people always ask me, well, where do you start? How do I get started with fasting? And I would suggest, first of all, change your diet. You can make simple substitutions like oils. Instead of eating canola oil and soybean oil, you can use, how about avocado or olive oil? And you want to eliminate toxic ingredients. Yeah, check those labels on your food items, and if it's something you can't even pronounce, stay away from it. You want to keep it as simple. Look for whole foods, so go to the vegetables and just get you some vegetables. If you're eating meat, make sure it's grass-fed. Make sure it's not farm-raised. You want to make sure you're eating wild-caught fish instead of farm-raised, because it's full of toxins. So there are different things that you can make, simple decisions that will greatly impact your health. Because ultimately in fasting, the goal is to get your body over into a fat-burning state very fast.
And once you reach the fat-burning state, no matter what you're eating, it's going to burn it up versus using sugar, because most people, they eat a lot of carbs, and carbs turn into sugar, or they eat processed or refined sugar, which is really not good for the body. So when you get into a fasted state, you're burning fat. And your body is smart. It'll realize that if nothing else is coming, it's going to start utilizing what it's got. And so it's going to burn up those excess pounds. You talk about losing weight. I don't recommend fasting just to lose weight, but that's one of the benefits, of course. In fact, when I did a 21-day fast, I'll never forget this fast, because some of my friends called me and they were ready. And they're like, we're doing a fast and we want you to do it with us. And I was like, what kind of fast you doing? And I'm usually doing 3-dayers or 7-dayers, but they were like, no, we're doing a 21-day. And I was like, 21 days? And I said, what kind of fast? What are we going to do? And they're like, it's a liquid fast. I said, oh, my. I had never done, well, it had been years since I had done a 21-day liquid fast. So my body was like, okay, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it, because I'm a yes person. Once I say yes, I'm going to commit and do it no matter what. And that's how you want to be when it comes to fasting. You're not supposed to switch it up once you start or back out of it and say, oh, I'm hungry. Nobody will know if I eat this cookie. You will know, and your body will know. So I encourage you to be a yes and be committed. So when I did this 21-day fast, it transformed my mind, my body, it transformed everything, every cell in my body. And I kid you not, I lost my craving for sugar as well as salt. And it was amazing, because those are the two things that I was dealing with and didn't know really how to deal with it. But fasting was the solution. And in addition to that, I eliminated 21 pounds in 21 days. And I wasn't trying to lose that kind of weight. In fact, at the beginning of the fast, I was like a size 10. So my goal was to eliminate 10 pounds, right, so I could be a size 8 and be happier, even though I was already happy at a 10. But by the time this fast was over, I was a little scared, because I was dropping so much weight. Some of my friends said, you're going to disappear. I small for my preference. But it was fun getting back up to a size 8. So I can tell you, it does work if you work it. So many people come to me and they complain about why fasting is so hard. And I said, no. Fasting is not hard. It starts with your mindset, just like with anything else. Once you decide you're going to do something, don't think about how hard it's going to be. Think about the benefits. Think about the results that you are going to achieve by completing the goal. So that's what I do. Whether I'm doing a 3-day fast, I do encourage that you drink lots of water on your fast. You may do just liquids, or you may do 1 meal a day. It really depends on your body, and it really depends on where you are. So I tell people any fast that you do can be beneficial as long as you do it. So don't worry about doing don't start off doing a 21-day. Start off with intermittent fasting. But those of you who've been fasting for years and you've been doing 3-days and 7 days, it might be time for you to up it to 21. So I encourage you to listen to your body, because your body's constantly talking. Remember the last time you ate? I tell people, think about how that meal made you feel. Did you get energized from it? Then yes, it was a good one. But if it drained you, had you sleepy, tired, ready for a nap, or even your stomach aching, it's telling you something you ate was not the best choice. So I encourage you to always make healthy choices and always stay hydrated, because that's how the toxins are removed from your body. You got to drink water, and not just any water. You want clean, fresh, mineralized water. You want water that's going to help your body heal. So here's another thing. When you're eating food, you are in a sugar-burning state. So what's happening, your blood sugar is going up, and then you stop eating, then the blood sugar stops, it comes back down, and then when it reaches a certain point, you get hungry. So you do it all over again. So it's like a yo-yo going up and down all day long. But one thing about fasting, when you fast, I don't get hungry like I used to, and it certainly doesn't affect my mood. Have you ever met somebody who's just really, really angry because they haven't eaten in a while? It's like the food is controlling them. When you live a fasted life, guess what? It puts you back into control, and you get to say when you eat. And sometimes, even if you miss a meal, it's not that big of a deal. Why? Because your body is used to making do with what you give it. But you got to train it, just like with anything else. But I tell people, when you decide to really give your body what it needs, your body is smart. It will utilize what it has. It will get you to a fat-burning place and start incinerating. So even when you do have a cheat day or you eat something sweet, not every day, but when you do have a cheat day, it's no big deal because your body, it knows what to do. It'll burn that sugar right up. So it's amazing what will happen when you train your body to switch over metabolically into the fat-burning place. It's a whole nother world of internal healing waiting for you. And again, it's so much more than eliminating weight. You will eliminate weight when you're living a fasted lifestyle. So this is not for you, for those that are pregnant, those that are breastfeeding, and those that are extremely thin. If you know that you need to put on some pounds, do not fast right now. Focus on getting your weight where it needs to be before you start your fast. And I want to talk about some of the other benefits of fasting. There's so many, and I'm going to highlight just a few, because when you fast, you get mental clarity. Yes, that brain fog will disappear. I can't tell you how many things I can remember. My memory, my recall improves when I'm fasting. Also, your energy. I'm a high-energy person, and when I fast, believe it or not, I get even more energy. So if you're low on energy, fasting will be good for you. It also reduces inflammation. So those of us dealing with inflammation, fasting will improve. This is something that I implement with clients who have joint pain, who have all types of inflammation going on in their body. Their arms are aching and it moves to the legs, all over the place. When you fast, it will cause your body to start reducing the inflammation, which will reduce the pain. Fasting also boosts your immune system. So if you don't have to worry about, somebody coughing on you, when you live a fasted lifestyle, your immune system is so strong that you can fight off viruses and bacteria much easier than the average person. So when it comes to fasting, most people, they resist it because of the suffering that they think. And, of course, it's not going to be easy, and it's worth it. But the suffering happens when your body is actually switching from the sugar-burning to the fat-burning state. But once you get over into the fat-burning place, the suffering will go away, and that's when everything else starts kicking in. Because, as I mentioned before, your body has two fuel sources that they use to give you energy. Most people rely on glucose or sugar. And even if you're eating a high-protein diet, some of that protein can be converted by your body into sugar. But most people live their entire life in this state, and they never reach the fat-burning state, so they complain about excess weight. They complain about not feeling good. They're sluggish. They're moving slow, and all of this can be alleviated just by fasting. So you're bombarded in the media about things to do to lose weight when you got a solution right here that won't cost you a dime. All you got to do is drink water and get some sleep and allow your body to heal. Because what happens when you get into the fat-burning state, your body, it starts creating what's called ketones. And the body will start using the ketones to give you the energy. And it's amazing. And let me tell you, once you do this, some people on this line are thinking, I don't know. Once you do this, I'm talking to the people on the fence. Once you commit to your health on a cellular level, I guarantee it will transform your relationship to food. It will transform your relationship to hunger. I'm fasting even right now, and I'm not hungry at all. I'm not distracted by it. It's not overwhelming. It's just a way of life because I like being in control. I don't like it when my body tells me that you're going to eat and tells me that you're going to get an attitude when you don't get enough food. But when I just choose to fast, guess what? I get to tell my body when it eats, what it eats, and how it's going to eat. And I know I'm talking to you. If you can relate to wanting to be in control, fasting gives you back the control that you need. So I want you to, instead of debating about, thinking about diets, a lot of people always ask me, well, what's the best diet? You got Weight Watchers, Atkins, keto, vegan, paleo. There's so many diets out there. What I want you to focus on is that fat-burning system that you get when you fast, because no matter what diet, no matter what you're eating, I've had clients to get results even eating horrible food, but they're fasting. I don't recommend it. And even if you eat terrible, while you're fasting, it will still be beneficial because the fasting is so powerful that it will help you get back on track. And eventually you'll start making healthy choices and your body will be that much further along. So that's what I want you to focus on. I want you to understand that the body does not burn fat by manipulating food. It burns fat when you eat and then give your body a chance to digest the time, the span that you, in between eating, giving your body a break from whatever food that you have chosen. That's how you burn fat. And to be honest, most diets are not sustainable. Why? Because the focus is on calories. And it's recommended that each person intake about 2,000 calories daily. And say if you throw some exercise in there, which I do recommend, people ask me, well, how often do you exercise? Honestly, I sleep every day and I exercise every day. And you don't have to do a lot of exercise. Some people go to the gym 2-3 times. You don't have to do all of that. In fact, 20 minutes of any exercise will be beneficial. And people ask me, well, what's the best exercise? Honestly, it's the exercise you choose to do and do it. So if you don't know what to do, start off with walking. You might get a bicycle. You might, whatever you want to do, get a buddy and do it with them. You might want to play golf or do some tennis. Whatever you choose, be consistent on a day-to-day basis, 15, 20 minutes. And then if you want to do more, great. If not, start off with 5 minutes. If you don't do any exercise whatsoever, start with 5 minutes. Then increase it to 10, increase it to 20, increase it to 30, and get your body used to movement because movement is key. As we age, our body needs to always have movement, and that's what I do for my clients. I get them to move their body, whatever. Some people prefer squats, some lift weights, some go swimming, whatever you do, as long as you do it on a consistent basis. That's when you get results. So back to the diet, while they're so not sustainable, suppose if you don't exercise one day and you just consume 2,000 calories instead of burning 1,000 calories. If you don't exercise, you burn very little. And then the body will store that as fat. But fasting gives you the edge you need for your body to help you on a cellular level. So I highly recommend that you control your weight through fasting. It's so much easier than counting calories. And if you trust the ketones, they will help turn off the hunger and sharpen the brain. So if you're just starting off with an intermittent fasting, you could do perhaps a 16-8 window, which means you condense your eating down to 8 hours, and then you give your body a break for 16. And it's easier than it sounds. typically my first meal, I recommend you push your breakfast back closer to lunchtime. So usually my first meal of the day is around 11 a.m. and my last meal is around 7 p.m., which gives my body a chance to rest from 8 all the way back around to 11. So, and it's used to it now, so it's no big deal. In the beginning, it was a challenge because people want to eat throughout the day, and when you give your body the order that you're only going to eat for 6 to 8 hours, that's it. You cut it off, continue to drink water, and focus on healing. It's amazing what will happen. So when you do like a 16-hour fast, by the 13th hour, you start to see the growth hormone, which goes up, which slows down the aging process. So a lot of people say, well, how do you look so young and vibrant? It's easy when you fast because your body is constantly healing when you're fasting. Also, it helps burn fat. And also in men, testosterone, when you're fasting, it goes up. And inflammation goes down. So you really, if you want to give your body a gift, give it the gift of fasting. Because, to be honest, one of the greatest studies done on women, they took a group of women after they had traditional breast cancer treatment, and then they all put them on a fast for 13 hours for every single day, and they noticed a 64% reduction in the reoccurrence of breast cancer. 64%. That's huge. And they didn't even change their diet, their food. They only all fasted for 13 hours daily. Amazing. The great news is it gets easier the more you do it. So your first fast, it may be a challenge. Then your next one, bump it up to 24 hours. Your next one, do a 36, 48, 72. You will be amazed. You just start where you start and then push yourself. And then when you get hungry, you know, if you just have to eat something, go with soup or go with bone broth or something light, you know. What you don't want to do is break your fast with something like a burger, something fried. No, because that will shock your body and it could do more harm than good. So what you want to do is, again, listen to your body and know that things are working on a cellular level. Because once you get past the first 13 hours, then once you get past 17 hours, you stimulate the body to do something called autophagy. And that's when the cells begin to repair themselves. And that's what you want. Because as you're fasting, as you are not putting any food in your body, the old aging cells are being replaced. And after 24 hours, your whole gut, it resets. And the intestinal stem cells, they come in and repair the whole inner lining of your gut. Can you imagine that? Your whole gut is reset in just 24 hours. Then once you get to 36 hours, your body goes and finds that stubborn fat, especially around the belly, that fat that you've been trying to get rid of for years. It starts to burn it up. It will incinerate that fat and give you more energy. Then if you could last 48 hours with no food coming in, now all of a sudden you're getting new dopamine receptor sites. And your body is really, it has bumped it up a whole nother level. And your brain is motivated to go find and reboot the whole dopamine system. If you could last 72 hours of fasting, your whole immune system reboots itself and recycles itself. This is without a drug, without any supplements. It's getting over there is the biggest challenge. So once you get over there, oh my gosh, you will experience so many cellular benefits. So the key to autophagy, to get it to turn on, it's an internal mechanism that pushes out viruses, it pushes out bacteria. I can't tell you the last time I got sick. I don't get sick because I'm constantly fasting. And if I felt funny or feel a cold coming on, you better believe I'm not going to put any sugar in this body. I'm going to shut it down, and just allow my body to heal and sweat. Go do some exercise. That will actually help you too. It gets rid of cells that are no longer serving you when your body is in autophagy. It's really remarkable. There's nothing else like it on the planet. Autophagy reverses aging. It prevents disease. It recycles those old damaged proteins, even damaged mitochondria in the body to build brand new tissue. Autophagy is like a team of cleaners that come in and clean up the cells and help them to function properly. So I want to encourage you to do yourself a favor and fast. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're a veteran, consider going on a fast and watch what happens. Your immune system will get a boost. It will clean out the toxins and harmful substances in your body. It'll even help your skin look better. I mean, there's so many benefits to fasting. Oh, I could go on and on and on. And it is approaching the time that I want to open up the call for Q&A. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Forrest.
Well, thank you, my dear. And once again, family listening out there, don't we bring y'all the good stuff? You got this sister, Ariana, you got Brother Rashad. We've had several other healers and holistic people come on here, King David, and they always give you guys tidbits of information on how to eat. And Sister Ariana, before I bring in anyone with a question or comment, I always like to say, like I always share with my audience, it's just a matter of discipline and doing, the 2 Ds. And when you eat well, and you, like you said, not much exercise, because when you say exercise to certain people, they get nervous, okay? You don't have to bust out 1,000 push-ups a day. You just do a little something like Sister Ariana said. Now, anybody who's been to my house, they know I have an exercise room in my front room, and I'm a member of LA Fitness. And I make it a point 3 times out the week to hit the gym. Now, when I was a little younger, because I'm a man of 66 years young, when I was younger, we always used to get in there, and it was a testosterone thing, trying to lift the gym when you're in your 20s and 30s. But, when you do that, you train smarter as you get older. You go in there, you train the muscle, and then you leave the gym, and you feel good. So, with that being said, my dear sister, am I to understand, I know you said an 8-hour window, so basically, because I practice intermittent fasting, I'm up to the 15-hour range, and I like to get to the 18-hour. I've done that a few times, but I do the 15, but depends on how my training day goes. And you're right. Now, the only thing I had today, sis, because it was my day off from the gym, I had a smoothie, and I had some watermelon and some coconut water. My last meal was that smoothie. That's it. Normally I eat a lot of green salads, and also, do you find it beneficial in the summertime when it's warm, you eat cooling foods, and when it's cold outside, you eat warming foods, like you said, your soups, your broths, because I do a lot of navy beans. I like to make it real soft with like soupy with some squash or something. What is your take on the seasonal recommendations? Do you have any?
Yes, absolutely. In the summertime, I love salads and I love fruit. In fact, I've done a watermelon fast where I just ate watermelon, and it was so good because watermelon is full of nutrients and as well as hydration, so I didn't have to drink as much water while I was eating the watermelon. And during the summer, I always have watermelon on hand. I love other fruits too, pineapple. I eat blueberry. Berries are always good in the summertime. So think anything that you can't go wrong with fruits and vegetables. I mean, and it's simple, and you don't have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. And when it's 80, 90, 100 degrees, you don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen because it's just counterproductive. So I tell people keep it simple. And then in the wintertime, I love making soups and chilies and broths and things that you can eat and filled with vegetables, and it just tastes so good. So, yeah, listen to your body as well as choose a variety of different fruits and vegetables that are seasonal. They're seasonal for a reason. So I tell people enjoy them in the season that you have them available and watch how your body responds to it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sis. All right, so what I'm going to do at this point, please, you could take yourself off mute, family, and if there's any questions or comments for Sister Ariana, please feel free to step up to the podium and ask your question or make a comment. Go right ahead.
Yes, hi. My name is Adrian. Say her name again, please.
Ariana. Oh, sister, you could spell it or pronunciate it for me, please?
Yes, it's Ariana, Aryana, Charise, Charise.
Well, welcome and thank you. You just shared a lot of information, and I'm glad that you're on because I've been going through a journey for the past basically 2 years, a little over 2 years, since COVID started, actually. And that was my solution to COVID. I was home, and I was laying in bed. I'm totally blind, so I don't go walking by myself, and I've been searching for somebody to go walking with me, and I just, somebody would go like once a week or something like that, but I needed more. So I did join a gym during COVID. I've been going to Planet Fitness, and I went 2-3 days a week, and the exercise guy there said, if you want to make a difference, you would come more often. So I started going 6 days a week. And then I called my doctor and talked to my nutritionist about making a change in how I eat. So I changed. I made a big change. But I'm gonna ask something that Forrest kind of touched on: smoothies. Now I like to drink a smoothie instead of a meal. Is that beneficial? I start my day off. I get up and I go to the gym at 5 in the morning, and I'm there for about an hour. And then I come home and have a smoothie, and that's my first meal of the day. And I'll, have a salad as the next meal. Well, no, I'll eat as in the next meal, a light lunch, and then I'll have a salad as my last meal, usually about 6:30. And that's how I've been doing it. I have lost, according to my doctor, I've lost about a little over 200, about 210 pounds in the past.
Congratulations.
But my issue is not the weight loss. And plus water's a thing. I've been drinking water since I was 10. I'd rather have water than anything else to drink, so that's haven't been a problem. But my question is, I have a lot of, lack of a better way of putting it, excess skin. Because I started out at 500 pounds, and I'm now at about 240. How do I get rid of some of this excess skin?
That's a good question. First of all, I do recommend smoothies. I love smoothies, and that's a great choice. I recommend you put as many green vegetables in there as possible, like your spinach, your kale, cucumber, zucchini, all of that is good. And then you can add some fruits too. And yes, that's fine. And then your body is smart. I mean, eventually, I believe the skin, I've been told by people who have lost a lot of weight, that your body will eventually, come back to firm up again by lifting weights. Some people do cardio and then others lift weights. And then some people have it removed. I'm not an advocate of having things removed. I prefer the natural way. So I would suggest adding some weights to your program that will, bring the elasticity back to your skin. And as you fast, it will also help you too. Yes.
Okay. I know weights because I have weights. I bought some weights. But the question is how, because where the excess skin is on my thighs and my stomach and my upper arms. I can see how the weights will help the upper arms, but because it is. But the thighs and the stomach, it's you know what? It's me. It's my perception that matters. Other people look at me and go, I don't know what you're talking about. You look a lot smaller. But I don't see it because I'm blind. But I don't see it and I don't feel it. I feel like that same person that started out 2.5 years ago.
Wow. That's
so I guess this
key. Yes, your perception. And because you don't see it, it's amazing. You believe it's there, and it may not even be there because it's what you perceive it to be. So it sounds like something working on your mindset, believing and telling yourself how beautiful you are every day, and allow your body to heal, because your body has been through a lot. I mean, you've lost a lot of weight, which is wonderful. So allow your body, give it the patience and the love and the TLC that it needs, and remind yourself how beautiful you are. And
I do, and I remind other people whether they want to hear it or not. But my weight gain was not from eating a lot. So changing my eating wasn't a major thing. Yes, I did. Thank you, Forrest. I didn't tell him because I didn't want him to get the big head. But he's the one that convinced me to start eating more greens and more vegetables and less meat. I'm not going to stop eating meat, but I eat a lot less meat. And but I was when I lost my sight, the doctors put me on. I was on 180 milligrams of steroids a day. That's what put my weight on. So it wasn't eating that put it on. So that wasn't my challenge. My challenge was getting the weight off. Yes. So,
how much water do you drink a day?
How much what?
How much water do you drink a day?
Oh, okay. That's another issue. I was told to drink a lot of water, and I used to drink like a gallon and a half minimum a day. And I used to do public speaking, and I was standing in front of a group talking, and I passed out. And I went in the hospital, and the doctor walked in and said, "Stop drinking water." And I thought that was strange. And he said, "You're drinking so much water, you were drowning from the inside out." So I had learned to cut back, and I try to get at least a gallon in a day. I don't try to get 2 gallons and stuff, but they said I was drowning from my neck, bottom of my neck to the bottom of my stomach. They said when I went in the hospital, it was all fluid, and I was literally drowning from the inside out. So,
another thing to consider is the type of water that you're drinking. What type? You want to look at the type of water. You want to make sure that it has minerals in it. A lot of people are drinking water, but they're not getting the minerals that they need from the water.
I wasn't getting minerals in it.
Okay, and that's important because when I changed to like an alkaline mineralized water, I don't have to drink as much, and I'm listening to my body. And I used to shoot for half my body weight in ounces. But now I find that because the water has electrolytes, minerals in it, I don't have to drink as much.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's another thing to consider. Yeah.
I'll do that. I'm starting another part of my journey next month. So.
Good for you.
Mineralized water. Regular.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well,
you're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Adrian. Anybody else? Step right up to the plate.
Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check. There you go.
Ariana!
Hello, David.
Harmonic healing. When is the audio version coming out? Because we need that right away for our listeners on Grown Folks Talking.
Well, thank you for asking. You're the third person who asked me this week. So I will get an audio version soon. I don't have a date, and I am one step closer thanks to you and all the others who are asking for it. So I will keep you posted, yes.
We need a date. Outcomes. I just got off my NLP training. What's the date? What date do you see it?
Well, I'm going to shoot it. It's September. I'm going to shoot for by the end of the year. We'll have an audio version.
Do you believe in miracles and manifestation? Let's do that by the end of Thanksgiving. Next year won't help us. We need it now.
Thank you, David. I will do what I can to get that version out as quick as possible. Yes.
Don't worry. I'll have up in Utah, I'll have a sign. Ariana, audio.
And Ariana will send you a bill for 50% of how much she has to push for to get on audio, King David.
It's all right. That's an investment. That's not a bill.
That's good then. There you go. You heard it. You heard it here first with the listeners as witnesses. Ariana, you give King David a call tomorrow and see how much has to be on the blank check, which won't be blank long.
Sounds good.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Brother King David, my main man. I'm telling you, brother from another mother. Anyway, okay, also, I would just like to say, since we have Sister Adrian on, she does have a show. Remember, I shared with you, Sister Ariana, that I have 3 people up here that have either visual impairment or totally blind. That's Sister Adrian. She happens to be one. And now, on your end with your clientele, have you had people who have had eye issues who have fasted and have, for some reason, got to see better?
I have had hearing issues to improve, not eyes yet. However, I believe in miracles. So when you give the body what it needs and you do everything you can, the body is just incredible. It's constantly moving towards healing. And the more you give it what it needs, the faster it'll reach homeostasis, which is where it wants to be.
Yeah, right. Everything is healed. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, anybody else? Comments, questions?
Yes. Hello. Thank you for that wonderful presentation, Ariane. This is Carol Lucille. And after listening to you, I have been thinking about, I host a podcast on the network called the Pink Sofa Talk. And I've been thinking about us doing our second corporate fast for the year. We did a Daniel fast at the beginning of the year, and I'm just wondering if you would like to partner with us and we do a corporate intermittent fast.
That sounds good. We can definitely discuss it, yes. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing and see what we can do together.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to get your info from Forrest.
Yes, he has it. You can get it from him.
Okay, and then I'll be in touch and we'll talk about, some dates and whatnot, and we'll come together and do that. We had some people who were very successful with doing the Daniel fast who had never fasted before, and I know I have. I've done the Daniel fast. I've done straight out water fast. I haven't done intermittent fast, and I listened to you when you said 13 hours, and I was thinking eat 13 hours.
No, it's faster than 13 hours.
Then you said 13 hours. I was like, well, dang.
You'll surprise yourself. Once you get started on it, you'll feel so good you don't want to eat. I'm telling you. And it just feels wonderful.
It just struck me funny because I'm like, okay, 13 hours, okay. And then you said that. I was like, wait a minute. Hold up. But I think it would be a great challenge for us. And from us fasting, we started a prayer call, and I think it's all great, putting it all together. So I'll be in touch with you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, wait a minute, Ms. Carol, before you go, Sister Ariana, didn't I share Pink Sofa with you when we were talking before you came on the show?
Yes, you did.
See, Ms. Carol? Okay. I just wanted to let you know because I was telling about Ms. Carol, can you give her a breakdown on when it's just ladies only?
Okay, so Pink Sofa is every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. On the first and third Tuesdays of the month, it's ladies only. And second and fourth, we invite the gentlemen. And the fifth Tuesday, when there is a fifth Tuesday, it can go either way.
Oh, nice. That sounds like fun.
Yes. So, and you're more than welcome to come on Tuesdays and join us.
Wonderful.
Same number, Sister Ariana. The only thing I do is just dial in. you know.
Okay.
And Ms. Carol's my vice president, so I'll give her the information. She'll be in contact with you. Appreciate it.
Excellent.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come on, take yourself off mute, family. Sometime to be talking on mute. Any questions or comments? Because some of us know we need to clean up our diets out there.
Hey, boys.
There you go. Brother Rashad.
How are you?
All right, brother.
Okay. Sister Ariana, that was a beautiful presentation, my sister. Really enjoyed that. Everything you said is very true. I always try to encourage people to fast as much as possible because fasting will save your life. And eating less will give you a longer life. So, yeah, it's true. And I think everybody should learn how to fast and start with intermittent fasting or whatever. Because I know for myself, as a teenager when I started fasting, I was on that one meal a day. And then I would fast several days, and I'm going to tell you, it was the best thing I ever did. It kept me really energized and keep me youthful and everything. So, up to this time in my life, I still do my fasting and keep my body real clean. And like you, I never get sick or anything. I just healthy all the time, and because of, eating a clean diet and fasting. And like you said, even if a person doesn't have the best diet, fasting will help, because you're eating less, and that will help. And it's also removing a lot of those toxins and things. So, yeah, it's very true, my sister, and keep up the good work. We appreciate hearing from you, and hope to hear from you again.
Thank you.
Sister Ariana, that's Brother Rashad. He's our naturopath. He's a naturopath, and he's been with me from day one. I jumped on this network. I started this network a year ago. We just celebrated our first anniversary on June 1st. But I was on another blog talk radio for 2 years, and the brother's been with me since day number one, and I believe Brother Rashad has been plant-based for 40 years. So I look up to him because I've been plant-based now. This past August made 11 years. So I got some catching up to do, sister. But with the diet, it does make you feel good, And you know what? With you giving this presentation, most people will hear it. They've heard other people I've brought on before talking about health and healing and nutrition. Because after you, sis, I got Brother Rashad coming on, okay, and he's going to talk about digestion. So if you might, in case after you leave, if you don't have anything to do, you might want to put the phone on mute and, pour some tea or have some organic apple juice and listen to what the brother's saying after we take you off. And then, of course, futuristic, I will bring you back because I want to get an audio version of your book. And I promise you, the Harmonic Healing, that's the first time I ever heard of a book with that title. I'm not saying that there's never been a book with that title, maybe pertaining to another mindset with something different, just, using the word harmonic. But I promise you, I'll be in contact with you to get, because I like to do the audio thing. You put it in, Brother Rashad dropped off Brother Ray Hagan, and I got to watch that. I just set up my DVD player. And I was talking to a younger person, and they were telling me now that they're eliminating DVDs. I'm like, what? What? I mean, I know they say you got to keep up with the Joneses, but, oh, Lord. I mean, I'm glad I have my little collection over here. And then we have over here in Newark, New Jersey, The Source. And they have wonderful information. They have nutrition and then our history, our African history, So it's a good place to go. But luckily they have DVDs that are still being sold. And they should never, never, ever cut out DVDs because I don't patronize too much cable. But anyway, anyone else? Step up to the podium if you have a question or a comment for Sister Ariana. Come on now, some of y'all need to ask a question or give the sister a pat on the back for coming on. Come on now, family. Step up to the podium. Is there anything that you guys need to know? Okay, I'm about to do a countdown. Going once. Going twice. And before I go, my historian guru, my teacher, do you need to ask Sister Ariane anything or make a comment?
Well,
Okay.
yeah. Well,
one at a time. Go ahead, Mr. Williams. Go right ahead, sir.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you were mentioning fasting, and it seems kind of odd that people don't. I was in the hospital on May 30th through June 1, and they had me on a fast for 51 hours. But that didn't seem bad to me. I mean, really, it didn't seem bad at all because I basically try to just do one meal a day, and I can't fathom. Well, I can fathom that if you don't have that control, which of course I've had to deal with this kind of control since I was, well, I guess for 60 years really, since I was about 18 years old. I basically followed this sort of like one meal a day regime. And for a lot of those years, my wife, I was married 55 years, and my wife had us on not plant-based at some point in time. I remember I had one son. He was born in 1972. He never ate meat until he was 2 years old. He wondered, what the heck is this stuff? But I think basically you can do that, and for your own health and your own life, you can stay here and you can combat and defeat almost anything if you follow a diet whereby you fast intermittently or otherwise. And so I think it's awesome that you have been a good proponent of this and has brought this knowledge to us, and we're so thankful that you came.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And just to share what you says, that's Mr. Williams. Could you let the sister know about your show and the title of your show?
Oh, sure, yeah. I have a show that comes on every Friday night at 8 p.m., and the title is Combating Systemic Racism Through Education. And this Friday I have a world-renowned psychiatrist, Dr. James McIntosh, and he is going to deal with a lot of the issues to do with cognitive dissonance and the whole issues around why African American people per se have so many difficulties with imagery, etc., and etc. So, Dr. James McIntosh on Friday, on the 8th day. Okay? Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. All right, hold up. Okay, thank you. That was some nice catchy music there for a minute, but put yourself on mute. Anyway, okay, anybody else? Now I'm still doing the countdown. Oh, and Miss Adrian. Okay, go right ahead. Step right up to the podium. You can speak. Go right ahead, my brother.
Yeah, Forrest, it's Marcus.
Go right ahead, brother Marcus. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing better today. Just wanted to, not a question. I just wanted to, just say that I appreciate the content that was brought today on this segment of your show. And I really, I'm just thankful for it. I gained a lot from it. It's inspirational and it's encouraging. As a matter of fact, while I was sitting here listening, I was doing some light exercises myself. So, I just wanted to say thanks for the information. Please keep up with everything. The autophagy is very good too. And thanks for explaining it more, because I haven't had it explained quite that way. But the way that you brought it, it helps me to understand better what goes on when your body goes through that. So I'll be working up to that. I know it's a stretch, 3 days. I've done it years and years ago, but I haven't done it since. So I'll be working up to that. But thank you. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Discipline will get you everywhere. That's the whole thing. And like they say, you don't miss it. And why eat when you're not hungry? I asked my friend that a while back. He said, I'm hungry, but he said, I want to eat something, but I'm not hungry. I said, doesn't that sound like a contradiction? If your body's not calling for anything, you don't have to eat it. Just put some lemon and water and drink that, and you'll be all right, and just keep it pushing. And then, you get that surge, you get that energy. But like I said, family, To know better is to do better. And some of us know better, and some of us are just lagging behind, and we don't have the discipline. But see, this is why we bring people like Sister Ariana up here to try to motivate you to get the discipline, all right? Because it will help give you a little bit more longevity, because none of us is going to leave this earth alive. Eventually, we're all going to have to close our eyes. It's if when you close your eyes, are you close them healthy, or you close them with a lot of situations? You're going to the other side, or wherever you think you go when you close your eyes, in a bad state or in a good state. You can kind of dictate a little, all right? And the key is prevention, all right? Because we don't know. Tomorrow I might walk out here and all of a sudden my arm goes limp, but I think I've taken things in place where that may not happen. And you heard Brother Rashad. You've heard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Delete refrain. What, Brother King David? What did I say?
Don't worry about it. I got rid of it for you.
You did. Thank you, brother. But I'm trying my best, my dear brother. Thank you so very much.
T-word, Nike. Just do it. I am.
He's a very good person to keep you in check with words. And the brother, he has 20,000 certifications, so I respect him so very, very much.
But that means it cost me $20,000 for 20 minutes. You smart.
Well, the check is in the mail, King Dave. You right around the corner. Come pick
I don't
it up
believe
tomorrow.
in the snail. They're not paying the people right. So don't trust the snail. We got Zelle. But I came back on to let you know about that word harmonic. When you took that scan a year ago, your harmonics from your voice was letting you know what your body and your mind was doing. Those are harmonics.
Yes, and King David gave me the harmonics in the phone, and they have benefited me greatly. Because whenever we run the park, Sister Ariana, I'm always speeding past him. He gets jealous of that. That's why I think she speaks up on my platform. So don't worry about it. He's got the bands now. He's gotten a lot better, you know, especially when the pit bulls chase around him. He's the only one that the pit bull chases around the park. Everybody else is pit bull free. But that's my man. My man King David.
Animals like frequencies. So if you pay attention to Ron Spence on Fridays, you'll understand that with Olympic Arc.
Well, yes, and I listen to Brother Ron Spence. But let me say this, family. Prevention is the key, and that's what we try to bring to you up here. So anybody else, would you care to make a comment before I send this beautiful sister to relax?
This is Adrian again. I'd like to ask her a question if I can.
Go right ahead, Sister Adrian.
Ariana, do you have I know you're not from New Jersey, do you have like a support group, like online or something, that somebody can reach out to you or participate in something like a support group?
Well, I am organizing one, so I can give you my email address and keep you posted when it is ready to go. Yes, and that is Ariana.
Can I give you, like I said, I'm blind, so can I give you my email address and you send me something?
Yes, you sure can. I'm ready.
Okay, A as in apple, C as in cat, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, 43@gmail.com.
Okay, got it. ACANT 43@gmail.com?
Correct.
Okay, I'll make sure I keep you posted.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
she
welcome.
will get it. Yeah, she will get it, Sister Ariana. She checks her emails. All right, anybody else? I'm about to do a countdown. Going once. Going twice. All right. Well, sister, I want to, on behalf of Grown Folks Talk and Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network, I want to thank you so very, very, very much for coming on. And I know that I have quite a few listeners that probably listen, and I hope you guys took notes. All right? And then I will bring the sister back on probably when she has some time. As you heard, she has a very full schedule, very busy. But we're looking forward to at least bringing her back before the end of the year. So, sister, this is your first time being acquainted with us, and I want to thank you so very much. And I will be in contact with you, Sister Ariana, for Sister Carol to give her the information, and then Sister Carol get in contact with you. And when you do the audio, I promise you I'll be reaching out to you for it, because I definitely am interested in putting it in my DVD or wherever I got put it, and listen to it. So you have my utmost respect, and you're doing wonderful work, and it's all about prosperity, giving back, and that's why this network was created, all right, for us to inspire people who are a little less inspired, and to give people and share knowledge, to give people the knowledge and to share it with each other. And that's what you've done tonight, and we're so very, very grateful to you. So you're now deputized. You will always be a member of the Grown Folks Talking family, and we're going to bring you back. And like I said, Sister Carol will be in contact with you. You got to check out the Pink Sofa. So thank you very, very much, Sister. And listen, before you go off, we're going to dedicate this next record to you. It's called Lady, and you've heard it before by a wonderful group. So I want to dedicate this to you as we send you off in style. Mr. Wins, go right ahead, sir, and hit it. This is for Sister Ariana. That's right. We love Sister that just came on to give us that wealth of information. Now, without further ado, by the way, I just want to let you guys know, after my show tonight at 8:45 sharp, DJ Mr. Sanford Joseph Williams will be playing my top 12 soulful jams, all right? My top 12. And then we're going to take requests for your two to be played, okay? So we're going to go back when the music was music. I mean, there's some music out now, but not like it was, y'all know, back in the 70s, the 80s, and partial part of the 90s. So come on, put your request in case you want to jump in bed early and not ready to go to sleep. 8:45, we run to 10 o'clock. Or when we finish with the request, whichever one comes first, all right? And then next week we got the return of Sister Nabia, Healing the World. She'll be back on after me starting next week. And then we're going to bring Sister. She came on a couple of weeks. Now, Sister Ariana talked about fasting. There was a sister that Dr. Ali brought in last month, all right, Sharon Clements. She'll be coming on, and she'll have a fasting show. This way she could teach you guys, and you could ask questions about fasting and about proper digestion and nutrition, okay? That way to keep our bodies optimum and keep our systems clean, okay? So she'll be doing the first and the third week of every month. So Miss Carol's going to have two fasting coaches, two health coaches for the Pink Sofa ladies or the Daniel fast, whichever one she. Miss Carol, you got two. You're blessed by two, left and right. She got an extra left and right hand now. Each goes Sister Clements or Sister Ariana. There you got a choice there, sis. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so without further delay, all right, remember, the return of Sister Nabia, instead of, she used to have the 4 o'clock slot, but now she'll be coming on 8:30 starting next week, okay? So without further delay, we're going to have our dear brother, Rashad Al-Amin. Brother Rashad, you there, brother?
Yes, my brother, I'm here.
All right, brother, go right ahead.
Good evening to everyone. Hopefully everyone is well. And thank you, Forrest, for this time that I can share information on health. And again, I thank Sister Ariana with that wonderful presentation. And I hope everybody takes heed and learn how to fast, because fasting is very important. And if you think you're going to die by not eating, no. You'll be all right. Just try fasting sometime. You'll see. Okay, so tonight we're basically going to talk about gut health, okay, because we know a clean, healthy gut means you're going to have a very healthy body. That's very important. So we're going to look at the bacteria in the gut. We're going to look at high diversity, which is a healthy gut, and loss of gut microbiome diversity, which is unhealthy gut. And, you know, we can look in the past, during the hunter-gatherer population, then the diversity of their gut was very high, very healthy. And then later on, we got more towards the traditional farming or fishing population, and their diversity was high. And then we come to the Western, urban, industrialized population, all right, with the sad diet, and the diversity is low, okay? So diversity decreased over these years, and so this is why we have to get back to eating properly, putting the right foods in our gut, because we know that the majority of your immune system is in the gut, plain and simple. So if you have a filthy gut, you don't have a low immune system, and a low immune system means you're going to attract all kind of sickness and disease. So what we're going to do, and I don't know if I'll be able to finish this evening. I try to go as far as I can, and if I don't finish, I can continue next week if it's all right with everybody. But we're going to look at the top 10 causes of decreased gut diversity, and we're going to start with childbirth, okay, like C-section versus natural childbirth, and then not breasted as an infant, Also, antibiotic overuse, a Western diet, lacking in essential fiber intake, the decline in bacterial diversity as we age, environmental toxins, medications such as acid-blocking drugs, lack of exercise, which we all need to do, poor sleeping habits, which a lot of us have, and over-sanitized environment. Okay, so these are the topics I'm going to cover this evening. And if you want to, take notes because it's always good to have a pen and pad with you and take this information down so you may share it with family members or friends or whomever you'd like to share it with. Now, we all heard about C-sections, C-section birth. And the baby misses out on bathing in the vaginal core microbiome completely. Now, my daughter was on about a month and a half ago, and she's a midwife, she's into natural birth and everything, and she explained a lot of things about birthing, and she's very into it as far as that goes, and I learned a lot from her, listening to her, so it's very good. Anyway, a C-section baby, develops an entirely different microbial footprint than was naturally intended, okay? So their bacterial footprint tends to be the bacteria found on the mother's skin and within the hospital environment. Pay attention now, okay? So more doctors realize the importance of this initial exposure to mother's beneficial bacteria. In cases where C-section is necessary, some doctors are now swabbing the mother's vaginal cavity and wiping the bacteria into the baby's skin after the procedure. So you can consider for this to be done if you are facing the potential of a C-section birth. Now, we'll go to breastfeeding, okay? The not breastfed infant. Now, breastfeeding is very important, as we know. That's the real milk for the child, okay? Not the cow's milk, goat's milk, and carnation milk, and all these things. Mother's milk is always the best. So another, childhood early factor, which helps determine the microbial diversity, is whether or not the child is breastfed. Now, research has documented the many benefits of breastfeeding concerning the LOMD, which you want to write it down so I don't have to keep repeating what LOMD is. Otherwise, you might ask me later on, what is LOMD? And like I said, it's loss of gut microbial diversity, okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, so the beneficial bacteria are passed to the baby through the mother's breast milk, along with certain sugars that act as prebiotics, okay? And some of the known benefits of breastfeeding to the infant throughout life are as follows. Listen up. Lower risk of breast cancer, lower risk of ovarian cancer, lower risk of rheumatoid arthritis, less endometriosis, less osteoporosis with age, okay? Less diabetes, less hypertension, decreased blood pressure, less cardiovascular disease, and lowers the risk of developing postpartum depression. Now think about that. From breastfeeding, okay? You're not going to get that from Similac, okay? So if that Similac is lacking, it's semi-lacking. So it's not something that's really good for our children. So breastfeeding, undoubtedly helps the baby establish bacterial diversity in the gut while supporting a healthy microbial footprint that may benefit them throughout their life, okay? That's important. You want to have a healthy baby, please breastfeed. Anybody who's pregnant or looking to get pregnant and have a child, keep that in mind. Now, third thing we're going to touch with, and I'm going to go over this stuff quick because I only got maybe another 40 minutes, and we're going to talk about antibiotic overuse. Now, that's big. Antibiotic, everybody wants to get an antibiotic for this, for that, whatever. The doctors recommend it, the dentists recommend it, and this is causing problems. So, the use of prescription antibiotics can have several adverse effects on gut bacteria and diversity. And, we know that antibiotics deplete the total number of beneficial bacteria found in the gut for a long time. Yeah, it affects your gut health. So, the most disturbing realization is that they may wipe out an entire beneficial bacterial strain that would typically be part of your microbial footprint, sometimes for life. Listen to this. Antibiotics also alter metabolic activity and allow antibiotic-resistant organisms to take hold, leading to antibiotic-associated diarrhea, recurrent C. difficile infections. Disruption of gut bacteria can contribute to many of the common diseases that are rampant today. You hear that? Disruption of gut bacteria. That's why we have to have a healthy gut with the proper good bacteria in there. Otherwise, we're going to have succumb to different diseases. And that's the main cause of most diseases is an unhealthy gut. We've got to keep our gut clean. That's why fasting is so important. It keeps the gut clean. And a lot of people who do fast, you don't see them sick like that, okay? But the ones who constantly eating all the time and eating a lot of junk food are having all kind of problems. We see this in America especially because we have probably the worst diet on the planet, believe it or not. We do, and it's terrible. So now, you can't ignore the negative impact of the standard American diet, which we call the SAD diet. And what it's done to our health overall. Okay, and we know it's full of processed foods that's high in sugar and low in fiber. Fiber is very important for the gut. If you want to keep things flowing, I always say this on the podcast, you have to have a high fiber diet to keep things moving, okay? And the carbohydrates often promote bacterial overgrowth. That's harmful bacteria happily multiply on carbohydrates, resulting in digestive issues. So, many times the first noticed symptoms may be gas and bloating. How many of you have gas and bloating? Think about it, okay? Many people do. Many people do. And concerning the diversity, a high-fiber diet provides what they call prebiotics in the fiber itself, okay? It's a prebiotic. And, as a result, brothers and sisters, fiber supplies food for a host of beneficial gut bacteria. And without food, probiotics can perish and certainly diminish in population. Think about it. What you eat or don't eat dramatically impacts your bacterial diversity, as is clearly shown, in a 2017 study published by the Stanford University Medical Center. They did the study, And the focus of the study was what they called the Hadza hunters in Tanzania, along with 17 other cultures around the world, some also hunter-gatherers, And the research found the Hadza's gut diversity was one of the richest on the planet. Their diet in the wet season consists almost entirely of food they forage from the forest, including wild berries. And I think that Sister Rihanna spoke about berries. Berries are one of the best foods you can eat. Put them in your smoothie, like she mentioned, and you'll have very good health, Fiber-rich tubers they eat. Honey. Now, they have some pure honey over there, I've seen some documentaries where some of the African brothers in this community, they would go up and gather the honey and eat it right there on the spot, pure raw honey, And, of course, they eat wild meat also, wild meat, not the meat that you get from these conventional farms. Okay, these are animals that run in the wild. Okay, there's a difference. That meat would be considered healthier compared to the conventional way of raising cattle or whatever. And they eat no processed food. These people don't eat no processed food. Like here in America, the majority of people eat processed food. First thing they do when they go to the supermarket, they go to the processed food section instead of going to the vegetable and fruit section, the produce section, where all the better foods are at. That's the foods we need to eat more so. But these people don't eat no processed food whatsoever, or even food that comes from farms. They don't even eat that. That's why they got such a healthy gut and extremely high in various fibrous foods. Their food is abundant in prebiotics, which can support probiotics. We don't go into all that, okay? However, now, the hazardous seasonal diet varies dramatically. This dietary alteration results in dramatic shifts in the diversity of their microbiota, throughout the year. And interestingly, brothers and sisters, they eat much more meat in the dry season and less fresh food, including much less fiber. At the low point, their gut diversity drops and begins to resemble the guts found in Western society. This is what happens with them. But this is microbiologist from Stanford University who's been studying the microbiome for 10 years, and he said we're beginning to realize that people who eat more dietary fiber are actually feeding their gut the microbiome. So this hazardous society consumes a massive amount of fiber because they eat fiber-rich tubers and fruit from the boab tree. Anybody ever see the boab tree? It's a beautiful tree in Africa, okay? And just Google it, look it up, and you'll see that tree, okay? And they eat from that tree, the fruit from that tree throughout much of the year. And these staples give them about 100 to 150 grams of fiber each day in the season. And that's equivalent to the fiber in 50 bowls of Cheerios. You hear that? 50 bowls of Cheerios. It takes 50 bowls of Cheerios to get that fiber to be equivalent to the fiber they eat. Okay, and 10 times more than many Americans eat. So you got to take note now. Increasing fiber intake to at least 25, 35 grams daily is a big step toward a healthier microbiome. Think about that. That's why we got to eat a high-fiber diet. When you eat a high-fiber diet, everything flows. It's like, almost having a colon cleanse every time you eat the high-fiber. Now, with the meat, and especially, like I said, these folks in this study, they ate the wild meat. But in America, everybody goes to the supermarket and eats that dead meat, okay, that conventional meat, has no fiber, okay, and it takes a long time to digest when you eat it, but it can create gut problems later on in life. It can lead to colon cancer because if that stuff doesn't move out of your system, it can sit there for years and putrefy and things of this nature, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? So this is very important. Now, let's look at bacterial diversity, fiber, okay? And that's your friend for three main reasons. It stimulates bowel movements. I always speak about bowel movements. If you're a person who eats 3 times a day, you must be able to have 3 bowel movements a day. If you eat 1 meal a day, you should have 1 bowel movement. You eat 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 21 meals, and you only move your bowel maybe 5 times, you have a problem. This stuff is not leaving your gut, and it's starting to putrefy, okay? That's a problem. But that's because of processed foods, high meat diet, or whatever. So you got to realize that, okay? Also, the bacterial diversity, because of fiber, it slows the absorption of sugar from other foods, okay? And most importantly, regarding diversity, it acts as food for your beneficial gut bacteria. You got good bacteria and you have bad bacteria, but you want to have mostly good bacteria, the beneficial gut bacteria, okay? The bottom line, the foods you choose daily offer your body the building blocks required for healthy function. Now, proper digestion of your choices can then build a healthy gut, okay? So they are also absorbed in the bloodstream as nutrients to sustain strength and vitality, okay? And you all heard the phrase, you are what you eat, okay? Or you are what you absorb, either one. So we know that if you eat a lot of garbage, well, what are we looking at? Pig or what? Or what are you absorbing? What's going into your gut? What are you absorbing? That's why we have to keep a healthy gut. That's important, brothers and sisters. I stress it all the time. If you have a healthy gut, you're hardly ever going to get sick. It's the truth. It's the truth. I know I've tested over the years. Others who do the same regimen test over years, they're healthy. They don't get sick. They always look good. They're slim and trim. Skin looks beautiful. You can't go wrong. And they look youthful. Okay? They look very, very youthful. Okay? And probiotics depend on your food choices to survive and thrive. Okay? Now, the next one is decline of bacterial diversity as we age. Okay? So we're going to talk about aging. As the years pass, there comes a decline in many areas of life. Energy levels, brothers and sisters, mental vigor, libido, gentlemen, and gut bacteria. Gut bacteria, okay? And overall, bacterial diversity decreases. The levels of your critical bifidobacteria are hit hardest with age. Bifidobacteria comprises the majority of beneficial bacteria in the gut and reside primarily in the large intestine. And bifido produces acetic and lactic acid substances that directly inhibit pathogen bacteria, okay? Keep that in mind. And additionally, brothers and sisters, bifidobacteria produce B vitamins. They produce B vitamins such as folic acid and help absorb nutrients. They also have an integral role in producing short-chain fatty acids that feed the colon's lining and, fortify the essential barrier. So the LOMD concerning bifidobacteria is an often overlooked factor in the unpleasant stresses of aging. Okay? Now, although we can't do much to stop the aging process, we can help to establish our bifidobacteria balance. Okay? We can do that. And let me tell you, like I hear Gary Noe all the time. He says, you have a biological clock and a chronological clock. Okay? You can be 30 biologically, but 60 chronologically. Okay? Or you can be 70 biologically and 30 chronologically. Okay? So, yeah, you can be elderly and be young. sometimes younger than the ones who are young. Okay? You can have a lot of energy, a lot of health. I mean, there's the people up in age who are very healthy. They do a lot of exercise and things of that nature. And when you look at them and see the energy level and how they move, you're like, wow, that's amazing. That person that age and they're moving around like that, that's a beautiful thing. So with aging, it's always best to stay active somehow. Don't retire and sit back and start drying up like a prune, okay? You don't want that. You want to stay active for the rest of your life. Even if you're not working, go out, take those walks, do a little exercise, get involved with something, just donate your time to do something, maybe help children or whatever. But just stay active. That'll really help, okay? Now, so let's keep going. Let's look at environmental toxins now. A lot of environmental toxins and a lot of cancers come from the environment, believe it or not. Sometimes the majority of cancers come from the environment, believe it or not. So let's talk about the environment, okay? Toxins such as chlorine, fluoride, lead, and mercury are negatively affecting our gut bacteria. You hear that? Chlorine, fluoride, lead, and mercury. You find this stuff in the water. Chlorine's in the water, okay? Some states have fluoridated water, which is terrible. It can rot in your teeth and everything. There's lead from lead pipes, and there's mercury. Some people have mercury fillings still in their mouth, okay, even though they don't use those as much anymore. They got other types of fillings that they use now, which is not as toxic as mercury, okay? Manufactured toxins are everywhere, okay, in our lives today. And, they're in the very air we breathe, brothers and sisters. Unhealthy air. Some states are have more polluted air than others. Some countries have very polluted air, like China. China's got some of the most unhealthy air there is. That's why they're wearing masks all the time. They have some very unhealthy air, just like in California. Also, in the Los Angeles area, they have very bad air over there also. Okay, if you've ever been there, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? Yeah, so, and so it's terrible that we have to breathe these things. But some of the most dangerous toxins are actually inside of our house versus the outside air. Processed foods and drinks contain what they call a plethora of toxic additives. Listen, toxic additives. You read labels and you can't even pronounce those words. That should put up a red flag right there. What the heck is this? But we just go on and drink it as if, it's all right. They put it in there. It ain't going to kill us. No, it won't kill you quickly, but over time, it's slowly killing you, okay? So we absorb all these toxins and additives, and it's terrible. So we also absorb toxins through our skin and mostly from our personal care products, systems like makeup and certain shampoos, okay? And these man-made chemicals disrupt the beneficial bacteria balance in our gut microbiome. Exposure to these chemicals daily negatively impacts diversity by killing off beneficial bacteria strains, upsetting the natural way microbes multiply, disturbing nutrient absorption resulting in malabsorption, creating hormone imbalances, example like estrogen, okay? And fibrous foods and beneficial bacteria helps to process and eliminate toxins through your bowel movement. That's why you got to have high fiber diet, and beneficial bacteria to help remove all these toxins, okay? It'll push them out. Okay? Now, research shows that postnatal exposure of the baby to chemicals like in personal care products decreases diversity later in life. Yeah, their gut diversity, okay? It is a challenge to navigate our toxic environment, brothers and sisters. Education, of course, is the key, okay? So we got to keep that in mind. Okay? We got to look at these skin products and sunscreen and household cleaners and water quality and a whole lot of other things that we can talk about, okay? Next, we're going to go to medications, such as acid-blocking drugs, okay? There's a lot of people using these medications here, brothers and sisters. Besides antibiotics, many drugs can disrupt your gut bacteria. Acid-blocking medications are some of the most or the worst culprits in our society, leading to LOMD. Okay? And why are they harmful, brothers and sisters? Because, we need our stomach acid. We do. We need our stomach acid. It helps control the pathogenic bacteria from getting into the intestines, okay? We also need to regulate the proper pH so our beneficial bacteria can thrive. So hydrochloric acid is one of nature's most essential pathogenic microbe killers. It helps destroy pathogens entering from the outside world, thus warding off disease. Okay? So there are two groups of acid-blocking drugs. It's H2 receptor blockers and proton pump inhibitors. Okay? So H2 blockers prevent acid secretion by blocking the action of what they call histamine. And histamine signals acid-blocking cells to secrete HCI upon command of the hormone gastrin. So these drugs were originally developed to treat peptic ulcers. So when medical professionals realized that ulcers are caused by H. pylori infection and not excess HCI, doctors use these drugs to treat gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is GERD. And sadly for the patients, H2 blockers shut off the production of stomach acid for hours at a time, and as a result has serious side effects, including gastrointestinal disturbances such as constipation, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, B12 deficiency, dementia, heart attack, heartburn, and that's the very reason you're taking them in the first place. But, with the ulcers, and I always shared this with people before because I've had people I counseled who had the H. pylori, and they had the peptic ulcers or whatever, and they were taking medication, but they just couldn't get rid of this ulcer for nothing. So I suggested two different ways to get rid of it. The first was get you a head of cabbage, organic cabbage, and juice it. And take those juices for 3 or 4 days, and it'll get rid of the ulcer. Or you can buy pure, raw, organic honey, and you take a nice tablespoon every day, and what the raw honey does, it kills the bacteria because it takes the water, because bacteria is in water, it dries up the water, and the bacteria die, and then the ulcer disappears. And I was watching, my wife and I, my wife shared with me, because she was watching a program on television where this lady had the flesh-eating bacteria, and it was eating up her flesh. And the doctors couldn't do nothing. They were trying to figure out how to stop this. And one person came up with raw honey. They said, rub this raw honey on their body, and it stopped it. it killed the bacteria because it dried up the water that the bacteria is in, and the lady was able to reverse that condition. But you should have seen how her body looked because of the flesh-eating bacteria. It was terrible. But fortunately, somebody came by and said, raw honey will stop this, and that's what happened. Raw honey is a powerful food. Raw honey is one of the best things you can eat. As a matter of fact, all scriptures talk about honey. Honey is powerful. You know, the Quran, the Bible, they talk about honey. This, you know, and it's something, I always say, when you look at scripture and it mentions certain foods, take heed. Take heed, okay? There's sections in both the Bible and the Quran that speaks about different foods. And you should always take heed and just get those foods. It'll help you. Honey is healing. Honey is healing. Believe me, I take my spoonful of raw honey every day. Every day. I want to keep my body healthy as possible, okay? And if there's any bad bacteria around, I just got to kill it. Okay, but anyway, those proton pump inhibitors reduce the experience of heartburn by inhibiting specific stomach cells from pumping acid into the stomach. They're the most potent form of acid-blocking medication. So beware now, because long-time use of this proton pump inhibitors is associated with increased risk of serious health issues such as, listen up, pneumonia, okay, osteoporosis-related bone fracture, nutrient malabsorption, and many other things, okay? So acid-blocking medication quickly leads to dependency, and attempts to stop their use can be extremely difficult. Okay, a rebound effect commonly occurs, causing worse symptoms than when the drug was initiated. So harmful bacteria not destroyed in the stomach can proliferate and change the pH of the digestive tract. This environment sets up the digestive tract for an overgrowth of fungus, brothers and sisters, and yeast. And long-term use has commonly been linked to conditions like IBS and SIBO, to name a couple now. We know there's people who take antibiotics, if they have just slipped my mind. Excuse me. It'll come back to me. No, don't worry. Don't worry. It'll come back to me. All right. So anyway, you might think the reason to take acid blocking medication is that you have too much acid in your stomach. But sadly, brothers and sisters, and often the person with the burning in their gut has too little acid production, which in itself is a health concern. So, using acid blockers only compounds the issue. The symptoms of both situations are almost identical, and it's only recently that professionals understand this critical fact. Okay? Think about it. And unfortunately, acid blocking medications were approved to be sold over the counter without a prescription. So now anyone can take as much as they want for as long as they want, and ignorant of the underlying side effects. We have to learn how to do our homework. We have to do our homework. When you buy a drug, find out what the side effects are. Look it up. If they don't have an insert telling you what side effects are, Google it and find out. This is very important. Very important, brothers and sisters. All right, let's skip over to the lack of exercise. And let's consider possible lifestyle choices, okay? Like, lack of exercise. I'll start tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. A year later, you're still talking about tomorrow. Haven't started yet. The reason I say that because I know a lot of people who tell me that Yeah, I'm going to start tomorrow. You see them 6 months later, I haven't started yet. Okay? It's important to exercise, okay? Like the sister was saying, you don't need a lot of exercise, okay? You just have to do something. Walking is one of the best exercises on the planet. Very easy to do. Just move your legs, okay? Very easy to do. There's people that walk 3-4 miles a day, which is excellent. It's excellent, okay? That's very important. I love to exercise. Me personally, I work out almost 3 hours a day every morning. That's just me, okay, because I love to work out. It's just something I've been doing since I was a teenager. I was always one that always loved to work out. Okay, I'm not no big muscular guy. I'm not trying to build muscles, look like Atlas or something like that. No. I'm just a regular guy, slim body, but healthy, got strength and everything. So that's good enough for me. Okay? I like my joints to stay loose. That's why enzymes are important when you eat a lot of fresh fruit and things of that nature. Those enzymes keep your joints healthy. Okay? They keep your joints healthy. That's very important. Now, and so exercise stimulates the function of many muscles in the body, okay, depending on what activity you choose. Although not the kind of muscle that you usually think of working out at the gym, your intestinal tract is also a muscle that is stimulated by movement. Think about that. Exercise can stimulate your nervous system and lower stress responses associated with fight or flight mechanisms, allowing you to de-stress and supporting good digestion. You know, I'm going to tell you, if you take a good walk every morning, don't have those headphones on your head just walk. Meditate. Breathe deeply. You remove a lot of stress from your body. Until early in the morning, it's an excellent time to take that walk. If you can, do it in the evening. Especially if you have a meal in the evening, take a walk. That helps with your digestion and everything, okay? That's very important. And I always tell people, believe me, you have to give yourself 3 hours after you eat your last meal before you go to bed. Very important. If you don't, if you keep going to bed after you eat, you will have a heart attack sooner or later at night. It's a fact. You can't do that. Okay? You don't have acid reflux and things of that nature. That's why you should always give yourself time after you eat that last meal. And don't eat no big, heavy meal. People eating steaks and potatoes and all that stuff and then having a big slice of apple pie. This stuff ferments in your stomach. And you're sleeping with that all night. And it's not moving, not going nowhere. You're creating a problem. A big problem. The last meal, I always stress this on this program, your last meal should be a light meal behind the fact that you're retiring for the night. You don't need all that food. If you have to eat a heavy meal, make it in the afternoon, okay? I know a lot of people eat 3 meals a day. I myself, I have a smoothie in the morning and I have my meal in the evening. That's it for me. I don't need 3 meals. This is just me. Others may not want to do that. Others will eat 3 meals, but at least eat a healthy meal. And the last meal should be a lighter meal. And believe me, when you wake up in the morning, you feel more refreshed. You feel so good, okay? You feel more energized, okay? Your breath is cleaner, everything, just by eating a light meal and giving yourself time before you go to bed, okay? So let's go on. And the problems with elimination and impaired function of the nervous system set the perfect stage for LOMD. And the vagus nerve, specifically along with your enteric nervous system, which is embedded in your intestine, work together to help you produce a healthy bowel movement. which we were just talking about, okay? Very important. And recent research has shown that exercise can increase the microbiome diversity independent of the diet. Think about that. And they said participants in one study followed a 3 times weekly exercise program for 6 weeks. They then reverted to a sedentary lifestyle for 6 weeks. Sedentary meaning they weren't doing no exercise, they're laying around, okay? With the help of fecal samples and genetic testing, the researchers found that all participants experienced an increase in what they call short-chain fatty acid levels, which are a medically recognized positive indicator of colon health. They also discovered a rise in levels of various beneficial gut microbes that produce short-chain fatty acids, okay, following the exercise program. In other words, exercise helped create more different good bacteria. But the levels declined when subjects reverted to a sedentary behavior. Exercise, okay? Like Sister Ariana said, exercise. Very important for gut health. Believe me. And you will feel the difference. I know for myself. All the exercise I do. And I take my walk and everything. I used to run, but I stopped doing that about 7 years ago. But I used to run like 10 miles a day easily. And I just started, I said, I'm just going to walk. And walking is just as beneficial as the running. As a matter of fact, it's a little better. Because you don't have to worry about having knee problems and things of that nature, okay? Especially if you're running on asphalt like many people do, as opposed to running on grass. Okay, so that's very important, brothers and sisters. And also, there was a scientific review article that was published in 2016, and they summarized the findings of many different exercise-based studies. It explains how exercise modifies the gut microbiota and positive health effects. And the conclusion states that exercise is able to enrich the microflora diversity, okay? Now, that's very encouraging, brothers and sisters. Yes, you're going to have good, healthy bacteria. Exercise. I mean, come on. Everybody can walk. Just take a walk. Okay, Sister Adrian, she goes to the gym, does walk in there. That's a beautiful thing. You know, even though she was trying to get somebody have a walk outside, which, you know, is really better than fresh air, but she's out there. She's out there. She's doing her exercise. That's a beautiful thing, okay? We should all be able to do that. And also, let's go to the poor sleeping habits. Yes, many people have poor sleeping habits, and they can increase stress in several ways, okay, which can also affect your microbiome diversity, okay? Now, this is important because young people today, they cannot sleep well. They cannot sleep well because they're always connected to their cell phone. They sleep with it under their pillows, a lot of them. They have TVs in their room with the blue light coming from it. It's affecting their sleep. A lot of times their room is not dark enough, and they're not getting good sleep. And without good sleep, the body doesn't really repair itself like it should, okay? But this is the condition of young people today. And older folks, too. You got older folks with a big screen TV in their bedroom. You shouldn't have that in there. That's and they watch TV, and then TV's watching them. But they're not getting a good night's sleep. The room's not dark enough, okay? Your TV should be maybe in your living room, but you shouldn't have it in your bedroom. But they have now households with each child having a flat screen TV in their room, and they're up close. Think about it, how that's affecting those children. Okay? Now, cortisol, the stress hormone, as cortisol, the stress hormone rises along with disrupted vagus nerve function. Efficient movement of matter through the intestine is impaired. Now, this dysfunction leads to toxic gut environment, decreasing the microbiome diversity and stimulating chronic inflammation throughout the body, constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating, and, a few other potential side effects, okay? So the connection between sleep and appetite has always been well documented, okay? Lack of sleep, listen up, decreases the level of the hormone called leptin, which is in charge of our hunger. You hear that? In charge of our hunger. Daily food choices directly affect microbiome diversity, and hunger levels can lead to poor food decisions, encouraging LOMD. Poor sleep poor sleep due to lack of sleep hormone melatonin may be related to the digestive condition known as gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is GERD, I mentioned earlier, as another sign of LOMD. You have to, listen, melatonin kicks in between 11 and I believe about 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? That's important. That's why you should go to bed around that time. Some people go to bed 3 o'clock in the morning. That's unhealthy. Okay? That's unhealthy. But that melatonin kicks in around that time, and you sleep better. You sleep better. And when you sleep, they would show the study also, if you sleep on your side as opposed to your stomach or your back, if you sleep on your side, it also helps with cognition. It's healthier for the brain. There's this new study came out. Or if you sleep on your stomach or back, it's not as healthy for your brain, okay? So sleeping on your side is very important. I always tell people, start by sleeping on your right side, then you can move along to your left side later. And you will sleep much better as opposed to being on your back, and especially on your stomach. It's very unhealthy. It's bad for your spine and everything. So keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. And conversely, gut bacteria influence normal sleep patterns by helping to create important chemical relaxation messengers in the brain like serotonin and dopamine. And research has revealed that both lack of bacterial diversity and microbe depletion negatively impact serotonin in the gut, thus affecting our body's natural rhythms and potentially disturbing sleep. So, keep that in mind. And symptoms of heartburn or possible gas and bloating, these things disrupt your rest also. These are some of the first signs of loss of microbiome diversity, often initiated by going to sleep on a full stomach. On a full stomach, okay? So it's affecting the microbiome diversity. Okay, that's why you can't go to sleep with a full stomach. You're creating all kinds of health problems. Very important, brothers and sisters. Okay? So keep that in mind. So ultimately, since the gut-brain connection works both ways, if you're getting insufficient sleep, it certainly makes sense that it would negatively impact your gut health. Okay? Like I said, allow 3 hours after your last meal before lying down to sleep. Okay? To support proper digestion. This is very important. Okay, I'm going to do 5 more minutes. Now, here I am. I haven't eaten my meal yet. So when I do eat, I'm going to have to wait till about 12 o'clock to go to sleep, which is okay. Because I always give myself 3 or 4 hours after I eat before I even lay down to sleep, okay? Very important. Also, let's look at an over-sanitized environment. Yes, an over-sanitized environment, okay? Let's address our over-sanitized environment. Science shows us that exposure to a variety of microbes contributes to the diversity of our microbial footprint, thus strengthening our immune system beginning in childhood. And studies on children raised with animals have demonstrated a more resilient immune system than children who are not. And those are children, mostly children on the farms, okay? Yes, you see a difference, okay? A more resilient immune system. Matter of fact, you know, you see children on the farms and things of that nature, they're much healthier. Farm people are much healthier, okay? They're, you know, they don't have an over-sanitized environment. They're dealing with nature all the time. That's why I always say, you know, we've been denatured. City folk been denatured, okay? We have to go back to nature. It's very important, okay? It's all right to touch animals, hug animals, okay? You know what I mean? It's all right to play in dirt, okay? You know, some parents, oh, no, I want my child getting dirty, blah, 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 blah. No, it's important. You know, recent studies are exploring the effects of antibacterial cleaning products on the human microbiome. Antibacterial and antibiotic are synonyms. Now, I discussed the complications associated with antibiotic overuse. Now, seasonal colds and flu stimulate practical recommendations to wash our hands frequently and clean surfaces diligently. However, listen, overzealous habitual disinfecting of ourselves and our habitats can alter our natural environment's microbial diversity and, brothers and sisters, inadvertently lead to the creation of antibiotic-resistant genes, both externally and internally. So there's many ways we can lose our microbial diversity, too many times resulting in, like I said, chronic health issues. And ultimately, it all comes full circle right back to listening to your gut. And that's the core to your health, brothers and sisters. Okay? So, like I said, to recap, okay, the many lifestyle factors that can contribute to the development of LOMD, these can include the C-section versus natural health. I'm going over these again. The not breastfed infant, antibiotic overuse, a Western diet lacking in the decline of bacterial diversity as we age, environmental toxins, medications such as acid-blocking drugs, lack of exercise, poor sleep habits, and an over-sanitized environment. Okay? Very important, brothers. So I think I can stop there. Okay? Because I'd like to sit down and eat, and maybe I can listen to DJ Sanford Williams play his good music. Okay? Very important. So, Brother Forrest,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Rashad, appreciate you, brother, with that wonderful presentation. Brother Rashad, by the grace of Most High, will be on with us next week. All right, family, to finish up, because you got how many points? 5, brother?
How many points?
Well, you said there were 10 you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, I still have a few more to go.
No. I was just saying, if you want to finish up next week, that was good, because you made mention of that earlier. That's good timing with that.
I want to talk more about probiotics and all those things, and I'll get to that next week.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so you heard it here, brothers and sisters. He'll be on next week. So, once again, I would like to thank our dear brother Rashad Al-Amin for coming on. And we'll save the Q&A for the brother next weekend. So we'd like for you to tune in, along with my guest, who will be on next week. Who's going to be my guest? Well, tune in. Y'all will find out. So, thank you, dear brother Rashad. And I'm going to make some, thank you very much, brother. Enjoy your meal this evening.
Thank you.
And also, I just want to mention, family, before we close out, and Mr. Williams, hold off on the on ending the recording. I want to mention this. Starting next summer, it'll be either July or August. Okay, we're going to have our first annual Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself Network Health Forum. It'll be held, hopefully, where my dear brother Rashad is looking at. I'm going to get with the brother. We got to get over there and get a date from the gentleman, but definitely next summer. All right. So for the family out there listening, we're going to give a big event. We're going to have vegan food. We're going to have martial arts demonstration. I talked to some people. We're going to have a plethora of speakers. All right, and we're going to have an itinerary of what's going to be there. And hopefully, I know Rashad had mentioned 12 noon is the starting time at the church. We're looking at the Abyssinian Baptist Church in Newark, New Jersey. All right? And hopefully, I know Rashad said they have a 12 to 4, but I'm going to see if it can be extended for another hour. We'll do a 12 to 5 and maybe a 12 to 6.
No, it's whatever you actually want.
Okay.
They spoke to the people there,
and
they said the day we choose, okay, if we do it on a Saturday, which probably would be the best day to do it.
Yes.
You can start at 2 o'clock if you like and go to 6. That's fine. They have a large dining hall there, and we can bring our food. They have the tables. They have chairs. They have everything. We can bring our own food in, okay? They won't allow you to use the kitchen, but you can bring your food and get those little burners to keep your food warm and everything, okay? And we can go from there. We bring some smoothies or juices or whatever, we can make them right there, whatever we have to do. But it holds a lot of people. They have a nice-sized dining room there. It holds a lot of people.
Well, family, thanks to Brother Rashad, we now are looking at this place, and we're definitely going to do something next year, all right? So we'll let you know way in advance. I would say by the end of this month, all right, no later than the middle of October, we'll get back to you with a definite date for next summer of 2024, all right? And, of course, Brother Rashad will be there, as well as like I said, a lot of other speakers, Dr. Ali, Jacqueline Ali, who you heard on here, and look, it's going to be a wonderful event. We'll have music, and it's going to be fun, okay? The Green Tea Man, John Boston, and his wife, they already said they're committed to be there. Just get back to them with a date. So a lot of people that you've heard on this network will be there, okay? And like I said, we're all going to get together and have a good time. And it'll be catered by, I was telling Brother Rashad, Blueberry Cafe, which is the vegan spot. And yes, I know some of you guys like chicken, so we will have chicken there, all right? Because when we get together, some of us just got to have some chicken, and that's your choice. Your diet is your choice. But it will be grass-fed chicken. It'll be a healthy chicken for you guys out there. So, it's
organic.
Yeah, organic chicken, yes.
And not only that, as well, that Blueberry Cafe is opening up a plant-based pizza, vegan pizza place right up the street from that church.
Right.
Probably be open this year, and so those who want to have pizza, a plant-based pizza, healthy, organic, vegan, you can go right up the street and get that. Okay?
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And, of course, our DJ, our resident DJ and historian on here, Mr. Williams, an educator in the school system with Africana Studies from 1968 all the way to 1986. He'll be there, coming in from Virginia, VA. They'll be traveling, y'all. All right, Sister Issa comes on tomorrow at 3 o'clock. She's making plans on coming up from Florida. So, family, we're going to have a very good time. And we're going to, Rashad, I'm going to try to get this place for at least 6 hours, So, hopefully, like I said, we'll work it out. We'll get back to you guys with a report. And trust me, you'll know by the end. And that's plenty of time for you to put this on your calendar, y'all, family. And guess what? There is no ticket price for this. Donations only. When you come to the door, If you put $1 in, if you put $20 in, you put $10 in, that's strictly on you, all right? We ask you to give what you can. It's a donation, and that's to the public because we're going to advertise it to the public because we can't be selfish, family. We just can't leave it here. We have to advertise to the public here in Newark, Irvington, East Orange, Elizabeth, the surrounding cities, Plainfield, New Jersey, the state, and I'll be mailing some flyers out for people in different states. So it's we're looking to have a nice crowd, all right? Looking to have Dr. James. Of course, I know Brother Miles will be there, as well as Sister Adrian will be there, and listening audience for the people who are. Hello, hold up, DJ Sanford. You got a happy finger with the music, y'all.
So, Dr. McIntyre.
Dr. McIntyre.
What about Dr. McIntyre, Mr. Williams? Mr. Williams?
I thought I heard Dr. McIntyre. Somebody said Dr. McIntyre.
Yeah, Mr. Williams has him on his show, I believe, next Friday. Yeah, but he announced that already. All right. So, by the way, Mr. Williams.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dr. McIntyre is on the phone calling me, so I had to tell him to call me on another phone. Okay. But I'm gonna put that music if you want me to, and I'll stop the recording.
Well, this is what we're gonna do. You can stop the recording, Mr. Williams. On behalf of, before you stop it, Mr. Williams, I'd just like to say, on behalf of Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself YouTube channel, family, we hope you like what you saw on YouTube, and please listen in, check the itinerary of all the different shows up here. We're open Monday through Sunday, 19 different shows on this network. Okay, Mr. Williams, hit me on the recording. Mr. Williams, you can stop the recording.